Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lady Bodam. It's a joy to have you here with me today. I'm super excited that you decided to join me. Super excited that you're taking some time to just come and chat with me for a few moments. And today we're all about authenticity. Authenticity, the art of being authentic. Don't worry, we're going to break it down a little bit more. But I just thought it would be amazing for us to really delve into what authenticity is and how we can live that quality as refined ladies. Ready? Let's go. Now, have you ever imagined or have you ever gone on a call or webinar, scrolled through someone's Instagram feed, and there were some people that you just automatically connected with? You didn't know what it was about them. You didn't know what they were selling. You didn't know who they were. You didn't have an idea of their personal lives, but there was just something about them that connected you to their hearts. And that thing, that quality that we recognize but we usually don't put a name to, is authenticity. And what is really authenticity? Essentially, it is the art it's the art of being true to your own personality. That's what it is. It's the art of being true to your personality, true to your values, true to your spirit, regardless of the external pressure that we all face to act in a different way. It's you being courageous enough to be honest with yourself and with others, and to take responsibility for your own actions. So your values, your ideals, and your actions all align. Essentially, you're living what's called unity of life. You're living unity of life. If someone meets you in the supermarket, someone meets you in the grocery store, well, grocery store is a supermarket. Someone meets you, at work. Someone meets you in a party. Someone meets you wherever. It's the same you, because your personality, your values, your ideals, your actions, your spirit, all of it align to be the person that you are. That's when we say that we're truly authentic. This is when you come across as genuine, and we all know those people that come across as being genuine and those people that sort of don't, right? So be authentic, and that's what we're going to be delving in today. I'm going to explain why it's important for us to be authentic, and I'm going to share a few tips for us to grow in authenticity. Now, first off, why is it important for us to be authentic, right? And now I like to give two examples. Imagine if you always lived with it, we've just come out of this pandemic. Well, we're not out, but we're almost out, right? Of this pandemic that came and ravaged the world. And when COVID was at its peak, we were all required to wear a mask. Now, there were different masks that came out. There were the masks that covered the mouth and nose. There were the face shields. There were the little things that you wear just on your nose. I really didn't like those ones. They looked very Star Wars, alien-like ship, and nah, I didn't like it. Anyway, so we had all these, funky nose mask things that came on. Bottom line is we're always with a mask. And if you were like me and you struggle sometimes with recognizing people, I'd have people saying, "Hi, Lady Bodam," and I'm like, by your eyes, I'm trying to figure out who is this person, and it was a struggle. Now, this was just for 2 years, and we're in 2022 now. We're able to go to some places without a mask, even though we still need to be responsible. If you do live with elderly people, or you do have a condition that exposes you or makes you more vulnerable, then you do want to take better precautions, right? Or precautions, as the case may be. Now, that's just 2 years. That's a short time. For some of us, we have been living with a mask all of our lives. We have this mask that's been fashioned and placed over us, so much so that even we don't know who we really are. For some of us, we become like chameleons. You know a chameleon? A chameleon changes color depending on the environment that it is. Sometimes I think it changes texture depending on where it is. So if a chameleon goes on something that's green, to prevent itself from being detected, its color, the color of its skin can change to green. If it goes to somewhere that's brown, guess what? It changes to brown. If it goes to somewhere with a different color, it changes to blend into the environment. A lot of us women have become masters at blending ourselves into our environment. We enter a space And instead of bringing our unique personalities and bringing all of us into that space, we just blend a little bit until we become like furniture or like wallpaper. Nothing unique about us, right? And part of it is society and culture. Ladies should be seen and not heard. There is a truth to that. Or don't speak until you're spoken to. All of these things. Or women should just be pretty and not bring much impact. There's all of that underneath the surface. But bottom line, a lot of us are chameleons. So we're chameleons that have these masks on, and it is stressful, right? It is so stressful. So the first thing I want to say to you is, I think it's time that we rip off those masks, that we peel off the chameleon skin that we so artfully wear, and that we step into who it is we wear. And I'll explain how we're going to do that in a moment. But what are some of the benefits for us being authentic? Number one, it builds trust and respect. You learn to trust yourself. You learn to trust your voice. You learn to trust your gut instinct. And as women, your intuition is one of your superpowers. You need to learn to grow in discernment and really understand when your intuition is telling you something, to be able to lean into that a bit more and say, is there something here? Or am I just being suspicious, right? So you learn to trust yourself a bit more. You also learn to trust the judgments and the decisions that you make. And most importantly, or more importantly, other people trust you as well. They trust that if they meet you, wherever it is they meet you, they meet a version of you they can recognize. They trust that you are true to what you profess. They trust that you live a holistic life, that you're one with your values and with your belief systems. They trust you because they sort of know what you stand for, and they know that you stand by what you stand for. So trust and respect is a big benefit of being authentic. Another benefit is integrity. Now, when you're authentic, naturally it means that you just have a high level of integrity. Well, not naturally, but it usually follows. And this means that you don't hesitate to do the right thing. Okay? You don't have to second guess yourself. You know who you are. You know what you do. You know what you believe in. And all of these align perfectly. So what is it when you're putting on a mask? You can say something like, oh, family is important to me, because that's what everybody says, right? Family is important to me. I believe in family. However, your actions, you're spending all your time at work, weekends you're out with your friends, just partying the place where you never spend any time with your family. The question is family truly important to you? If it is, what you do should align with what you believe or what you profess that you believe. And that's integrity. That's an integrity problem. The third thing that authenticity helps with is that it gives us an ability to deal with problems. So when you're honest with yourself, when you're honest with others, you just have this strength and openness to deal with problems quickly instead of procrastinating. It's just what it is, because you're not trying to figure out first that which character do I need to pull up today? Who do I need to be today to show up here so I know how to deal with this problem? You are Lady Bodam everywhere. I am Lady Bodam everywhere. And listen, some of these things take time to grow into. And that's okay. But it's just committing to getting on that journey and continuing on that journey. Okay, so when you know this is who I am, this is what I stand for, there's no need to procrastinate. You deal with the problems as they come in a quick, decisive manner that is aligned to your value system, aligned to your beliefs, aligned to who it is that you say that you are. Okay, the fourth thing on there is it helps you to realize potential. Again, you can trust yourself to do what is right. You can trust yourself to know what is right and to do what it is that you know is right. And when you do this, you're able to realize your full potential in life. Okay? You're able to, instead of letting others dictate what it is you should do with your life, you're able to take control of your life. That's what it means when you realize your potential. I'm able to sit and say, Lady Bodam, listen, you are able to do X, Y, Z. You can grow here, you can impact women in this way, you can settle down and do this, because my value systems, my belief systems, all of these things, I am one with my message. I'm not, I keep on telling this story of how I was in the bank the other day and I wanted to blow my top because they were being rather silly, and something just kept on saying, you know what, just hold your cool, just don't be brash, don't be aggressive. If you want to address it in a dignified way that your comments will be heard. If not, go and drink a glass of water and just relax. Anyway, as I stepped away from the queue, really taking in all of my annoyance and anger and trying to find out the best way to communicate, someone walks up to me, and there's COVID period, so we all had masks on, and someone walked up to me, excuse me, are you Lady Bodam? And immediately, I just had like a chill go through me, and I was like, yes, I'm Lady Bodam. And we had a chat and all of this. But bottom line was, imagine if I had given into my baser instincts and acted in a way that was not consistent with who it is I profess I want to become. That's not consistent with what I say I believe. And then this lady, who thought it was Lady Bodam, would not be able to marry it together. And then I'll come on a webinar and be like, ladies, we need to be XYZ and come on board. Let me teach you how to do this, and let me teach you how to do that. And you have some people rolling my eyes like, she's not one with her message. So it limits potential if you're not authentic. Another thing, obviously, is confidence and self-esteem. You can trust yourself to make the right decisions. So when you're genuine, when you're doing the right thing, automatically it leads to a higher self-confidence, it leads to better self-esteem, it leads to a greater sense of optimism, and it leads to more life satisfaction. Isn't that fantastic? Wouldn't you want a life that you wake up every day and you look around and you think, I really like my life. I really like my life. Could some things be better? Yes. For example, I could take more vacation days. I could, have more spa days, stay in a few more hotels a bit more often through the year. These are little things we can change. But other than that, right, I genuinely love my life. Can you look at your life and say, do I love my life? One thing to ask. And the final thing as to why authenticity is important is less stress. A lot of us, when we get to do our massages and all of that, usually it tells us, oh, you have a lot of tension in your shoulders. And by the way, if you do have tension in your shoulders, you might just want to roll your shoulders just a little bit. Just roll it all the way up like that. It eases it off. And the other way around. So good. Quick tip, so good. Just eases all the tension. You can do that through the day. You can do that when you're at a meeting. Just roll your shoulders back and roll it forward just a little. You can stretch out this way and stretch in that way, and it just eases off the tension in your shoulders. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, a lot of us go to these spas and things and we're like, oh, there's tension in our shoulders and all of these types of things. What is the cause? It's because of stress. A lot of us have stress locked up on the insides of our bodies, and part of it is because we are living multiple lives, multiple personalities, wearing multiple masks, showing up as multiple people depending on who we're talking to. We have a persona for work, a persona for the office, for social gatherings, a persona for maybe religious functions, if that's your thing, a persona for mentors or perform. Oh my goodness, it's tiring keeping track. So less stress when you're more holistic. And the final thing I'm going to share with you, maybe 3 or 4 things as to how you can grow in authenticity. However, just before I say that, I'm going to say authenticity sometimes differs depending on the different roles that you're playing. Okay, so a number of us have different identities that we play. We have different roles at work. We have different roles in our personal life. We might be a leader in our teams. We might be a team member, for example, to a boss. We might be an expert to a client. We might be wives or mothers or sisters or daughters. All of this. And do we have to act the same way in each role to be authentic? The real answer to that is no. We need to be flexible. In some cases, you might need to change your tone of voice to showcase authority. For example, I'm just giving a loose example. In some other cases, you may need to show a certain part of you that's sterner, so that you pass across a message, or to discipline someone, depending on what the case may be. But your true self remains true no matter the situation. What do I mean? Let's assume you have to be use a bit of a stricter tone of voice to communicate displeasure, or you might have to show a sterner aspect of your personality to when you're disciplining someone. For example, when I say your authentic self doesn't change, if you're someone who has said that I want to be someone who my words build up, my words are gracious, they're kind, and they build up. Even when I have to be stricter with my tone of voice, even when I am expressing displeasure, I will not use words that tear you down, that make you feel less than a human being, or that significantly tamper with your dignity as a person. Because that is a value that I have said that I have. So I will not use abusive language on you. I will not swear at you, of which, in general, I don't think women should be swearing. Personal opinion, but that's okay, right? So I will not swear at you. I will not. There's certain things I just won't do. I won't use horrid words on you. I won't question your intelligence or your intellect, just because I'm trying to pass across a point to you or trying to correct you in a manner. I will try and leave you with a bit of dignity, the dignity that you should have as a human person. Okay, so just bear that in mind, that as you're going through different roles, you have to be flexible. Yes, you have to be flexible, but your true self should remain your true self. So how to be authentic? Step number 1, live by your values. Now, you cannot live by values that you have not identified. So my question to you is, what values do you hold dear? What personal goals and values do you have? Identify your core values and then commit to living out and working according to these values. Don't have 100 core values. You're going to forget them anyway. Have like 5 things or 6 things, that you can keep to, and these are my core values. This is what I'm going to work with every day. Your core values can be love, it can be excellence, it can be family, it can be loyalty, it can be commitment, it can be whatever it is. What are your core values? That's number 1. Once you identify them, you choose to live by your core values. Step number 2, I want you to identify the gap between where you are and the person you want to become. What will you look at? Now, you've seen your core values, you have that list of core values. Ask yourself, if one of my core values is love, am I loving in my interactions with people? Do I genuinely show love? Do I correct from a place of love? Do I build up from a place of love? Do I pass across information from a place of love? Do I showcase value from a place of love? Right? Or am I abrasive and aggressive with my team and with my tone of voice because I think, that's how leaders should be? Do I lead with love? That's the midway point. And to ask yourself often, to have your evaluations monthly, have a deeper evaluation quarterly. Ask yourself, how am I growing as a person? Okay, so that's it. And then when you identify the gap, you write just a few words that help you bridge the gap. And if you've been to the United Kingdom before, if you've gone on the London Underground, in some stations you hear, mind the gap, mind the gap. You need to mind the gap between where you are and where you want to be so that you can make that transition seamlessly. All right. The third thing is communicate honestly. Communicate honestly. Now, honest communication means saying what you mean while respecting the other person's needs and feelings. So because I feel a certain way, I'm not going to go on a verbal diarrhea and just speak anyhow and say, what, Lady Bodam, that was me being authentic. No, that was you being mean and cruel and unfeeling. So yes, we have a right to communicate what we feel, how we feel, but as refined women, we also need to have an eye on the other person's needs and feelings, because remember, we're dealing with human beings. Okay, so this takes good communication skills. I'm going to do a video on that soon, and emotional intelligence. Okay, it also means you're not playing games when you speak. You're not saying things like, you're not saying one thing and meaning a completely different thing. You're authentic in the way you speak. If you're not happy about something, you communicate that you're not happy about that thing. If you're upset, you communicate that you're upset. If you're excited, you can communicate you're excited. Don't play all these games with communications that people do. It's just not seemingly. And the final thing I'm going to say is to learn to manage your emotions. Oh, this one, we're going to be learning it for a very long time. When you're authentic, you consider other people's needs as well as yours. And then you do your best to treat everyone with courtesy and respect. So, when the situations are stressful, it means you have to know how to control your emotions. It's an important part because it shows that you have inner strength. There is something I read once. It says that even though your emotions, your feelings come first, you need to be able to slow it down so that your thought process can take over. Because you feel something doesn't mean that the feeling is right. It's not, you just feel it. Feelings are fickle. That's why we can laugh one moment and cry in the very next second. Feelings are fickle, and sometimes they mean nothing. But your will is what is stronger. And what you decide in your will, we have three parts of us. We have our emotions, we have our will, and then we have like our intellect. So sometimes our intellect knows the right thing to do. Our feelings want to do the exact opposite thing. So we need to train our will to go in the way of our intellect and not to be led by our feelings. That's how we can be truly authentic women. I hope this has been helpful to you. Just to recap, I shared on authenticity. I shared why it was so important, and I gave you a few tips as to how you can start growing in authenticity today. Please like this video, leave a comment, and let me know what part of it resonated with you. Subscribe to my channel, share it with your family, your friends, your loved ones, or those sisters you think need to grow in authenticity. Until next time, stay safe and remain beautiful. I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.